Have you ever noticed a loved one changing right before your eyes? Becoming more withdrawn, confused, or anxious, and brushed it off as just part of getting older? What if I told you those small signs might be the early whispers of something deeper, something that demands attention before it silently steals joy, connection, and even years of life? Today, we're diving deep into a topic that doesn't get nearly enough attention: mental health in seniors. This isn't just another checklist or casual talk. It's a life-saving guide that could change how you see aging, your family, and maybe even yourself. Mental health challenges don't always scream for help. Sometimes they tiptoe in quietly, and when they do, they can look a lot like normal aging: subtle memory lapses, changes in mood, or a lack of interest in things that once brought joy. But recognizing these warning signs early can make all the difference. We're going to break down 10 early indicators of mental health decline in older adults. For each, we'll explore what it looks like, why it matters, and what you can do right now to support yourself or someone you care about. So whether you're a senior yourself, a family member, or a caregiver, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's have a powerful conversation that could very well save a life. Let's begin with the first sign: social withdrawal. One of the most overlooked symptoms of mental health issues is when a person who was once engaged, maybe even the life of the party, starts pulling away from friends, family, or community activities. They may decline invitations, avoid phone calls, or seem less interested in conversation. This withdrawal isn't just about preference. It can signal depression, anxiety, or even early cognitive decline. The key here is to look for a pattern. Is this a new behavior? Has it been increasing? If so, it's time to gently reach out and stay connected. The second sign is noticeable changes in sleep. We all know aging affects sleep, but dramatic shifts like sleeping all day or staying up all night can indicate more than just aging. Frequent nightmares, insomnia, or daytime drowsiness may be linked to anxiety, depression, or even early stages of dementia. Good sleep hygiene, a calm evening routine, and addressing stressors can help. But don't ignore these sleep shifts. They're often one of the first red flags that something deeper is going on. Our third sign is increased confusion or memory issues. Forgetting where you placed your keys is one thing, but repeatedly forgetting names, appointments, or familiar routes can be a signal of cognitive changes. And while memory loss is commonly associated with Alzheimer's or dementia, it's also a symptom of depression and severe anxiety. Mental fog, decision fatigue, or struggling to follow conversations are all clues that something in the brain is out of balance. Early evaluation and support can improve outcomes tremendously. The fourth warning sign is persistent sadness or hopelessness. Everyone feels down occasionally, but if a senior feels sad more often than not for weeks, or especially if they express a sense of hopelessness, it's time to take action. Depression in older adults often goes undiagnosed because people expect sadness as a natural response to aging or loss. But chronic sadness can rob someone of the joy that's still available in life. Supportive counseling, medication, or even social engagement can help shift that emotional weight. Let's move on to the fifth sign: sudden changes in appetite or weight. Mental health doesn't just affect the mind, it shows up in the body too. When someone stops eating, loses interest in meals, or begins overeating as a form of coping, it's a signal worth noticing. This could be linked to depression, grief, anxiety, or even psychotropic side effects. Nutrition is vital in late life, and so is recognizing when appetite patterns shift in unusual ways. The sixth red flag is increased irritability or mood swings. If you've noticed someone becoming short-tempered, snapping over small issues, or having uncharacteristic emotional outbursts, it might not just be frustration. These can be expressions of anxiety, depression, or even neurological issues like dementia or Parkinson's disease. The brain processes emotion differently with age, and mood regulation can suffer when mental health isn't stable. Compassion and observation can help you support your loved one through this storm. Seventh on our list is a loss of interest in hobbies or passions. Maybe your father once loved gardening, but now the tools sit untouched. Or your mother, who used to bake every weekend, suddenly avoids the kitchen. When someone loses interest in the very things that once brought joy, it's a warning sign of depression, burnout, or even trauma. Encouraging small steps back into those activities or introducing new ones can help rebuild that spark, especially with the support of loved ones. The eighth sign is unusual or excessive worry. Everyone worries sometimes, but if a senior begins expressing constant fear over finances, health, or the safety of loved ones, and especially if these worries are irrational or consuming, it could be an anxiety disorder. Chronic stress wears down the immune system and heart, so it's not something to ignore. Therapy, gentle exercise, and open conversation can be powerful tools for easing the mind. Ninth, let's talk about neglecting personal hygiene or the home environment. A once meticulous individual who now struggles to bathe, dress, or keep up with housework may be experiencing more than physical limitations. Depression, dementia, and anxiety can all contribute to a loss of motivation or executive function. Instead of shaming or demanding, approach with kindness, offer help, and explore whether deeper support, like therapy or assisted care, is needed. And finally, the 10th warning sign, expressing thoughts of death or suicide. This is the most serious and requires immediate attention. Phrases like, "I don't want to be a burden," or "everyone would be better off without me," should never be dismissed. Seniors can be incredibly vulnerable to suicidal thoughts, especially after loss, illness, or a major life transition. If someone you know is expressing this kind of language, take it seriously. Call a mental health professional or a crisis line and stay connected. Your care can make all the difference. Now that we've explored these 10 signs, let's shift gears. The second half of this video is all about what you can do. Practical, actionable ways to help a loved one or even yourself if any of these signs hit home. First, open the door to conversation. Many seniors suffer in silence because they feel ashamed, scared, or worried about being a burden. Create a safe space to talk. Ask gently, "I've noticed you seem quieter lately. How are you really feeling?" Sometimes just being asked that question can be a turning point. Second, involve a medical professional. Don't try to diagnose or treat alone. Encourage a full physical exam to rule out other causes like medication side effects, thyroid issues, or vitamin deficiencies, which can mimic mental health symptoms. Many conditions are treatable once they're properly identified. Third, build a routine. Structure is powerful for the aging mind. Regular meals, sleep, exercise, and social interaction can stabilize mood and improve overall functioning. Help set up a calendar, encourage a morning walk, or suggest a weekly lunch with friends. Small habits become anchors. Fourth, get educated. Learn about common mental health conditions in older adults. The more you know, the better you'll be at recognizing signs early and knowing what questions to ask. Knowledge is a powerful antidote to fear. Fifth, don't underestimate the power of community. Support groups, senior centers, religious communities, and online forums can all provide connection and reduce isolation. Being part of something larger than oneself builds resilience and purpose. Sixth, encourage creative outlets. Art, music, journaling, gardening. These activities soothe the mind and express emotions that are hard to articulate. They also tap into a sense of identity, which can get lost when mental health declines. Seventh, advocate for therapy. Mental health professionals trained in geriatric care understand the unique challenges of aging. Whether it's cognitive behavioral therapy, trauma-informed care, or simply a space to talk, Therapy can be transformational. Eighth, explore medication if needed. There's no shame in taking medication to balance brain chemistry, especially when it restores quality of life. This decision should always involve a doctor, and it's okay to ask questions until you feel informed and comfortable. Ninth, stay patient. Healing takes time. There will be good days and hard days. Celebrate the small wins. Getting out of bed, smiling more, attending a social event. Each moment of progress matters. And finally, stay hopeful. Mental health challenges in seniors are not the end of the road. With compassion, awareness, and support, people can and do get better. They find joy again. They reconnect with loved ones. They rediscover purpose. Let's take a moment to recap. The 10 early signs to watch for are social withdrawal, changes in sleep, memory issues, persistent sadness, appetite changes, irritability, loss of interest in hobbies, excessive worry, neglect of hygiene or home, and expressions of death or hopelessness. These signs are not weaknesses, they're signals. And you now have the knowledge to respond with strength, care, and urgency. Thank you for being here, for caring, for watching this far. If this video helped you, please give it a like and share it with someone who may need to see it. And if you've ever supported someone through a mental health challenge or faced one yourself, I invite you to share your story in the comments below. You never know who you might inspire. Until next time, stay kind, stay connected, and stay hopeful.